Welcome to Booked, Busy, and Building, the podcast for dreamers, doers, and everyday people making it happen. Whether you're building a business, a mindset, or a better version of yourself, this is your space to stay grounded, get inspired, and keep growing no matter how full your calendar gets. So if you're chasing your dreams and figuring it out as you go, this is your space to stay motivated and keep building. So tune in every week for new episodes. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Booked, Busy, and Building, the podcast where we talk about building the life you actually want. Today, we're going to be talking all about why playing small is actually costing you in every single way, from how much money you're making or how much money you could be getting to the kind of opportunities that could be happening and coming into fruition in your life. And the reason why I am bringing this topic up today is because just last week was Cannes Lions, which, if you guys have no idea what it is that I'm talking about, it is essentially like the Oscars for all things advertising, tech, marketing, media, and more. And all these different brands within these different industries fly out to Cannes, France for a week, and it's a week of panels, networking, awards, and more. And I've just been seeing so much content about it, not just on my TikTok, but also Instagram Reels, on LinkedIn. I'm getting it in my email from different newsletters. And so after following a ton of creators and seeing that not only they went, but now they're giving recaps on everything that they learned, and after watching all of these different videos, I want to kind of recap all of the info it is that I have learned on why playing small is costing you a lot more than you think. Whether you are a content creator or you want to be one, or an entrepreneur, or anything in between, if you simply just want to be in these powerful rooms, you want to get access to more opportunities, or you really just want to tune into your full potential, then this is the episode for you. But I definitely want to disclaim that this is going to be very social media / creator / like entrepreneurial focused this entire episode, because it is only going to get bigger and better from here. So just want to preface that before we get started, but let's dive in. First, it's time for our weekly Booked, Busy, and Building check-in, which are 3 things that we ask ourselves at the beginning of every episode. So number 1 is, what opportunities are you stepping into this week and how are you staying booked? So something that I am stepping into is the how am I going to make these next 6 months count era. Like, I know that was very long, but June was such an incredible month for me. So many things happened. Not only was it my birthday month, which we love, but I traveled. I went to Turks and Caicos for my 24th birthday. As soon as I came back, I was here for a week. And then just over the weekend, I went to Point Pleasant, which is kind of like a beach town more down the shore in New Jersey, that I went with my friends. And it was so fun. I signed some really cool opportunities. Like, I had my second 5-figure month of the year so far. My last 5-figure month was in February, and I made a little over $11,000 from contractor opportunities as well as content creation and social media. This month, I am on track to hitting a little bit over $12,000. I'm still waiting on one more brand deal that is supposed to get it to $13,000, but I don't think that's going to happen until probably later in the month, because July is already here in just a few days. But I have had such amazing opportunities happen this month, so many cool things, and I'm like, you know what? I want to keep up this momentum. I want to keep being consistent, keep showing up as much as I can with everything it is that I'm doing across all of my socials, but also with my personal life as well. And so I'm just really, really happy with how this month has started out and also how it's finishing. So I'm really stepping into that kind of energy for the rest of the year. Something taking up my time and energy right now, and what is keeping me busy, is my personal time. So like I just said before, I'm getting back from 2 weeks of traveling, and I kind of just want to get back into routine. I'm finally putting my suitcase away. I don't have any need for the little travel size products anymore. Like, I truly am just putting everything away, and I'm so happy about that. Not in a ungrateful way, but in a way of like, now I can get back into my routine, because I am someone that I love to travel. It's really fun, but when it happens like back to back and there's kind of like no break in between, like a long break, it can be a little hard for me to like bounce back into routine. And so I went straight from like being out the country to then coming back, doing my contractor work, doing social media stuff, and then immediately packing again, going down the shore. And obviously that wasn't like a crazy trip, but I still brought my suitcase out. I still had a bunch of clothes. Tomorrow I have to do laundry, and I had a bunch of meetings. I still have a bunch of meetings this week. Like, I'm really just trying to get back into routine and the swing of things. And so it's going to be really fun to just, like I said, do laundry, do things in my everyday routine, and get back into that, because that is what I love, is like simply having my things that I do and really enjoying that. Last but not least, number 3, what are you intentionally working towards for your future self in building? So I kind of want to bring back up what I said in number 1, which is trying to make as much money as I can and really having more 5-figure months throughout the rest of the year. I know that money should not be everything, but as a girl that has student loans and eventually wants to get out of that debt, I'm really focused on what are some opportunities that I can tap into, what are some ways that I can keep showing up and try to make a little bit more extra income, because like I said before, I do have a contractor job in influencer marketing, but social media and partnerships is another really big chunk of how I make money every single month, especially with brand deals that can come in an instant. So even though February was my last 5-figure month and this month is my second one, I want to make this more of a consistent thing with the last few months that we have with the rest of the year. And I 100% believe that it can happen, because it's always the months that you don't think it's going to happen that it does end up happening. And so I'm really determined to just continue that energy, stay on this high positive vibe, and continue doing that throughout the rest of the year. Tip number 1 is playing small is a choice, and it's probably one that you are making every single day. Playing small does not look like this really big, crazy, dramatic thing. A lot of the time, it's also not that you're quitting or you're giving up. Sometimes it's the small things and in the way that you show up every day. So for example, if today you decide, I don't want to post a TikTok, I don't want to send the email, I don't want to reach out to this person on LinkedIn, etc., or maybe I don't feel like setting my alarm tomorrow and waking up early. It's in those little ways that you could be playing small and stopping yourself from reaching your fullest potential. Every time you either wait for permission or you wait for the right moment or the perfect time or for things to align, is the longer that you are waiting for an opportunity and delaying an opportunity that could happen into your life. And I realized this very early on in my content creation journey, was that if I just keep delaying posting that video in my drafts, I'm never going to know what could happen. And if I would have never started posting TikToks back in 2020 or 2021, I would not be where I am today. Same thing with so many other things that have happened in my life. If I would have never applied to go to FIT in New York, I don't know where I would be right now. Like, I've had so many cool things and opportunities happen to me over the years, but it's been simply because I've put myself in those situations and in those opportunities, in those rooms, in those circles. And to be that kind of person, to get to this certain place in life of wherever it is that you want to be, it requires knowing that you don't need a certain background, you don't need to have a certain amount in your bank account, you don't need to look a certain way, just go out and do the thing. And I understand that every industry is different. Like, the way that one industry works is probably not how another works, but that should not stop you from going out there and trying and doing something. Like in the creator economy and in the creator industry, it used to be very, you need to have a lot of followers and that's how you're going to get cool things. Now it's like brands aren't really caring about followers as much anymore, and they don't really care about the influence. They care about what can you bring to the table. And this is reminding me a lot of the content that I'm seeing around Cane's Lions, which is that brands are not paying anymore for the price tag of a creator's follower count. They are now paying for what do you bring to the table, your expertise, your leadership, what do you know, your experience, like how can they benefit as a brand, what is missing from what they could be doing better, what is something that the creator wants to see from that brand. And it's like, that is expertise that not just anybody or any Joe Schmo on the street is going to be able to give them. When it comes to you and your life, playing small can be stopping you from being in the rooms or getting the opportunities it is that you want to be. And playing small is a very big price tag that you are going to pay later on in the future. You might not get the deals or the opportunities it is that you want, but it's like, if you don't show up and put yourself out there, then you are never going to be able to see where you could be and what could happen. You're going to lose time, you're going to lose on your own potential and what could actually happen, even lost income, maybe even lost relationships that could be a potential. So start paying attention to the moments where maybe you shrink a little bit in these certain areas, and how can I try to excel in that instead. And I can give you guys a great example. When I was going to influencer events in the beginning, I was so shy, so introverted. I didn't really know how to talk to people. And then as I started getting invited to more events and more cool things happening in the city, I was like, you know what? I'm going to challenge myself, and I'm going to try to talk to at least 2 people and try to get their LinkedIn or their Instagram or their email. And so I started giving that as a challenge to myself, because I noticed when I go to these events where I'm not that familiar with people or I'm not that familiar with who is going to be there, I shrink myself a little bit, and I'm like, let me just go stand in the corner. Let me not draw as much attention to myself. Let me not do this. And now when I go to these events, I'm like, how can I connect with people? How can I talk with people? How can I try to see where do I fit into here? Even if it's an event where maybe I don't end up getting any networking done or I don't end up connecting with anyone and I'm just there to simply just have a fun little grand old time, to just pop in, pop out, whatever it may be, I am still giving myself like mini challenges to see what can I get from these moments, because that is where your growth is actually being decided. What are you going to do in those moments? The world is not going to pause. Time is not going to stop. Nothing is going to come back. It's like, what are you going to do in that moment? And sometimes waiting to feel ready can stop you from that. Tip number 2 is you are carrying a lot more leverage than you realize, but you may not be using it to your full potential. So a lot of women are really underestimating, at least I think, what they already have or what they could be doing. When I was going to influencer events like a lot in the past, now I'm not really going to as many, but when I go to events in New York or just around my area and I meet with someone who knows about what I do or about my content, I always get the same comment of like, you're really inspiring, I really look up to what you do, I love your content, all these different things, which still feels like a dream. It feels so full circle because I'm like, wait, you like my content, you like my videos, this is crazy. But when I talk to a lot of these girls at these creator events, a lot of them are like, they're underestimating what they have, and it makes me realize, like, I feel like so many other people, even if you're not in the creator space at all, I feel like so many of us really underestimate what we could do and what we could be bringing to the table. And when I say you're carrying more leverage than you realize, I mean, you are probably holding yourself back from opportunities because you think that you're not ready enough or you think that you're not good enough. And so when I would have these conversations with girls at these creator events and they're like, I just don't know how to edit that well, or I'm afraid to talk to the camera, or I've left this video in my drafts, or I'm afraid to send this email, or how did you work with this brand? Like, when we have these conversations, I always go back to them and I'm like, you can literally do anything it is that you want to do. I started posting just for fun, and now it's turned into an amazing part of my life that I genuinely cannot imagine not being in my life. But I'm also like, it's all about you and your mindset, and it's really you against you. And I specifically remember there was this beauty event. It was like around Valentine's Day. It was a Galentine's Day thing. And I loved the event. They were like, we're paying. I went to the event after going back and forth about it all day. Like, I really did not want to go simply because it was later in the evening and I don't really like to commute into New York by myself, especially at night. And it was February, so it's like the sun was setting super early. I was like, you know what? Let me just go. I haven't been to an event in a while and I really like this brand. They're really cool. They are always sending me stuff. So I was like, you know what? I want to go. I want to meet with the team in real life. That could be really fun. When I went to this event, I met up with this girl who I actually had never met before, but she followed me online and she was also a micro content creator. I think she had like less than 10,000 followers. She was like, I love your content. I look up to everything you do. You're really inspiring. And that she struggles with posting consistently and showing up on TikTok more specifically. We just had this really deep conversation where I told her, like, girl, just post even if you don't think it is the best video ever, because you just need to get into that mindset of posting and editing and creating content. And as soon as you shift your mindset into, I am a content creator, this is what I do, this is how I show up, that is how you start getting and attracting more of those opportunities. And again, it doesn't even just relate to content creation. This can be with anything in life. Like, as soon as you change your mindset and you really embody that person or that feeling or that life in your head and you start doing it in real life, you are going to notice things in your life will change. And so with her, I told her, like, girl, you can do it. Just lock into that mindset. And then I told her that I have a podcast, that she should definitely listen to it because it's a lot about mindset and like locking into that mentality. That was, again, in February. We are now in June. I followed her after the event because I was like, girl, like, I believe in you and I want to follow your journey. To this day, like, every time I see her videos on my For You page, not only am I so happy for her, but she has shown up so much on social media. She's got invited to so many cool opportunities. She even had an event with a very high-end luxury brand. I'm just like, you see what could happen in just a few months of you deciding I want to do this versus I'm actually going to do this. And I'm just so proud of this girl. I always see her on LinkedIn, and there's people out there that are rooting for you and you probably don't even know it. And this is a conversation that I always remember with her, because again, when I see her content, I'm like, I am so happy for her, because look what happened in just a few months. I want you to take that as like, you don't need a fancy title or a really huge following or this perfectly built brand in order to start using what you already have. You just need to start acting like what you have is valuable and is worth a lot, because it is, and then just start showing up like that person every single day. Make it a habit of the next time you're maybe in an uncomfortable situation, or maybe you don't want to go to an event or do this thing with work or wherever it may be, just go, whether it's work related or whether it's an event that you sign up for or something that you see online. Like, you are genuinely one conversation, one email, or even one post away from a completely different life and an amazing opportunity, but you just have to be willing to take up that space first. Tip number 3 is stop waiting to feel ready, because it's honestly a trap that is going to keep you stuck forever. So I know I've talked about this a lot in a lot of my other episodes, but I feel like I really need to reiterate it with this and what it means when it comes to playing small, because a reason why I feel like a lot of women also play small is not because lack of talent or lack of opportunity or lack of resources. A lot of it is also because you are waiting. You're playing this waiting game. You're like, when this happens or when this happens, I'll finally do it. But the longer you wait to finally feel confident enough, or to finally be prepared, or to finally feel like everything is really laid out and established, like the longer you wait, then you are just going to continue waiting and waiting, and the perfect moment is never going to come. Readiness is not something that you are finally going to feel one day. It is something that you are going to build by actually doing the thing, by actually going out there and showing up. And the confidence it is that you are waiting for, the confidence that you want, or whatever it may be, that is not going to come before action. It is going to come after you take action. All of the things and the opportunities that I've gotten and the things that have kind of solidified for me, like, okay, you're on the right path, have only come from me shooting my shot and putting myself out there, me sending that LinkedIn connection, and then that person reaching back out to me a few weeks later saying, hey, we have this opportunity, do you want to come? It's me posting a video tagging this brand, then getting an email saying, hey, we saw your TikTok, we want to send you this. It's like that confidence and the things it is that you want, it's not going to come before you finally do the thing. So speak up for yourself, launch the thing, go after the whatever it is that you want, because whatever it is that you are looking for or that you wants you just as bad. But it's like, why are you not showing up, and why are you not doing something to get towards that? And I think another great way to really kind of boost yourself up to really get to where it is that you want to be is think about mentors, or think about people that you look up to in whatever industry, and study their story, read how they got to where they are today. And that is something that I love to do, especially when it comes to some of my favorite female founders, like Emma Grade and Tara Bosch, Barbara Corcoran. Like, all of these women have built such cool things in so many different industries. Like, Emma Grade is fashion, Tara Bosch is in CPG and food and beverage, Barbara Corcoran is in real estate. Like, I love that women are out there doing really cool things, and when you hear their story and you read about them, or you see how they got from point A to point B and then got all the way to here, it's like, that is your motivation, that it doesn't matter where you come from or your background or wherever it may be. If you have a dream or a goal or something in mind, you can 100% make it happen, but it requires getting up and putting yourself out there. So something that you could do, which I think could be very helpful if maybe you are having a little bit of trouble boosting yourself up and getting out there, is give yourself a deadline and be serious about this. Right now, it is June. We are going to be in July later this week. Give yourself a deadline until the end of the summer to try to just go all in for the next 2 months and see what could happen. Or maybe by September or October, see what is something you can do now to challenge yourself, that in 3-4 months you can see how much progress have I done. Whether it's the Substack you've always wanted to start, the social media page, the LinkedIn messaging, like whatever it may be, give yourself a deadline and make it real. Actually abide by this, actually follow it, and don't just be someone that when the day finally comes, you're like, okay, we'll see if I ended up doing it or not. Because the version of you in these next 3-4 months, or whatever timeline it is that you give yourself, they are someone that can be in a completely different space than the person that you are now, but it's just about trying and not waiting anymore. Last but not least, tip number 4 is the life you want is on the other side of the standard you set up for yourself. So playing small is not just about what you're doing it is also about what you are tolerating and how you are taking things that are happening every single day. So for example, what opportunities are you just settling for? What are some of the things that you are just accepting? What are some of the places and opportunities or rooms that maybe you are staying quiet in? And at some point, I feel like you need to come to the realization where you are going to draw a line and you're going to decide, I am no longer going to stay here. I no longer want to be in this position in life. I no longer want to be in this era, and I want to move up, or I want to move over here. And I think every person has this point in their life where they're like, I am genuinely just sick and tired of how my life has been, and I want to do something new. And that is exactly how I entered college. Like, I looked at college as like, I'm going to give myself 4 years, and I'm going to give myself this timeline of, in these next 4 years, I want to do as many opportunities as I can. I want to try different internships. I want to try different part-time jobs. I want to see where I can get. And that was also around the same time that I started social media. And it was literally because I realized, like, I want to draw a line of where I have been up until this point, and I want to do something new. I want to reinvent myself. I want to be in the rooms and get the opportunities it is that I want. The decision that you make starts with the standard that you hold yourself to every single day. The standard you set for yourself today, tomorrow, next week, whatever, that dictates everything. Whether it is the opportunities you get, the things it is that you want, the way that people treat you, or the way that you treat people, the income you generate, like whatever it may be. A lot of the times it's like, how are you showing up every single day? So start by auditing, what are you currently tolerating in your life? Whether it is with your business or your career or your personal life, relationships, friendships, like that can also be the silent killer towards why you're probably not where it is that you want to be. Maybe things are draining your energy. Maybe your focus is going too much on this. Maybe your confidence is slowly not where it was before. And most of the time, a lot of us don't even notice that this is happening, which is why I think it's really important to start looking at where can there be improvements in your life. Where can you start raising standards for yourself? And I feel like a lot of people look at this as like, why are your standards so high? Or maybe you are someone that is like you're stuck up, or whatever it may be. It's like, no, you know that things need to meet a certain standard in your life, or you need to be the kind of person that it's like, if this does not meet this up here, then it's just simply not going to work. So at first, it's obviously going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be new. You're going to feel like, should I have taken this opportunity? Should I have not left this job? Like, whatever it may be, it's going to be hard in the beginning, but that discomfort is literally just going to be that gap of where you were before and where it is that you want to go. So start thinking, what can I do starting tomorrow, even starting today, to get closer to where it is that I want to be? And how can I start removing the little things that are just not letting me get there? Whether it may be applying for new jobs and really getting paid what you're worth, whether it may be looking for new internships or new opportunities that you can be a part of, maybe reaching out to brands or reaching out to whoever it may be to get to where it is you want to be. It all starts with, what standard are you setting for yourself? And if your mindset is like, I can't do this, I can't accomplish this, then you are not going to. But as soon as you switch that mindset and you go into the mode of, I can do this, I can get to where it is that I want to be, anything will be possible. Thanks for tuning in to Booked, Busy, and Building, where we keep it real, stay growing, and are always showing up for ourselves. Remember that you're not behind, you're in the middle of becoming, so keep building what matters, and the life you want is already yours. And until next time, stay booked, stay busy, and keep building.